Hello, welcome to another Supernaturally Healthy blog post, and today we're going to be looking at the real reason you have heartburn or reflux or GERD or whatever it is going on. The actual thing that you probably don't know about, but is actually what is going on within your body. But for those of you that don't know, I'm Kezia Hall and I run Supernaturally Healthy, and I'm a holistic health coach, and I help people heal their bodies and love their food. So what is actually going on? If you have that heartburn, reflux, whatever you want to call it, let's look at what we've been told. So if you ask any Joe Blogs in the street and you say, why do you think people get stomach acid? He'll probably say, or she'll probably say, oh, it's because there's too much stomach acid. You know, we have this idea if you get heartburn, it's because in your stomach there's just too much acid and it just bubbles up your esophagus and causes a lot of discomfort. And that is not actually the case. Of course, the actual symptoms of heartburn is stomach acid getting into your esophagus and coming up. That is a symptom, that is how it feels like, and that is what's happening. But the reason for it is not because you have too much stomach acid, it's probably because you have too little stomach acid. For most of the people, not everyone, but for the majority of people who struggle with continuous reflux and heartburn, it's because of poor stomach acid, low stomach acid, not too much. And I know that might be a bit like, whoop your brain a bit, because, you know, there's the whole topic of, well, why do antacids work? You know, when you take an antacid, then the symptoms disappear. So that's what we're going to look at today. But in terms of some of the research behind this, you know, studies actually show us that our stomach acidity decreases the older that we get. But then we also see the correlation of increased reflux, increased heartburn with increased age. So if it was true that we had too much stomach acid, then as we got older, our reflux and heartburn should decrease, shouldn't it? Because studies show us that as we get older, our stomach acid decreases. So if heartburn was caused by too much stomach acid, the older we get, the less issues we should have with stomach acid. But that is not the case when you chat to people. And again, that's not what research shows us. So it's really important that we look at this underlying issue. So antacids do work on a symptom-based level. I'm not here to tell you that antacids aren't going to work when you take them. They do help the symptoms of stomach acid, but they're never going to treat the underlying cause, the root issue of why you have stomach acid in the first place. So let's look at what could be causing this stomach acid to come up into your esophagus. Well, sometimes with people it can be you have your esophagus and you have your stomach, and there's a valve that joins the two, and you have your lower esophageal valve, and sometimes that can be dysfunctional. So that means it should be shut apart from when food is entering the body, but when if you have heartburn, that can open and cause the little bit of stomach acid that is there to come up into your body, and that valve is sometimes known as the Les valve. Another reason can be increased intra-abdominal pressure, basically meaning that there's pressure in your body that's pushing the contents of your stomach up and causing that little bit of acid to actually come through the valve. Now, this can be from overeating, it can be from being overweight, but a lot of the most convincing evidence that I've seen is around carbohydrate malabsorption but normally together, bacterial overgrowth within the stomach itself. And this can cause this pressure coming up. And if you want more in-depth information about that, I'll put some links below to Dr. Chris Kresser. He's done some great posts more about the real reason you have heartburn and GERD. So I'll link to that below if you want to get geeky about the science and the biology and biochemistry of it all. But the reason that you have this ongoing reflux is very rarely because you have too much stomach acid. It is because you have too little. And if you really want to see that change and disappear, then you've got to address the underlying root cause. And acids will never address the actual root cause of that. So what can you do about ongoing heartburn and reflux? Because it's not fun. I've had a lot of clients that have really struggled with this and it's been miserable. They can't sleep at night. You know, it's just painful after meals. They're really restricted in what they eat. So one of the things that you can do is to help optimize your digestion and get your digestion really sorted and work with someone to really support that overall digestion in terms of your gut flora, your stomach acid, and all of that sort of stuff. Often supplementing as well with some HCl, which is your hydrochloric acid, which your stomach produces, can also help. But I would really recommend that you do that under the advisement of a different practitioner, an integrative doctor, a nutritional therapist, because often that can really, really help reduce the symptoms as well of heartburn, as if with your meals you have some HCl. But you've got to be careful with that. That's not something, as with all supplements aren't something you just like shove down your throat and hope it works. It needs to be done in strategy and with wisdom. Next thing that you can do to help is to remove any bacterial overgrowth in your stomach. Now, this can be done through specific cleanses, detoxes, and diet. The next thing that you can do to help with heartburn and reflux is calm the heck down and de-stress, and making that intentional in your day. And of course, diet is really, really important. So removing the refined sugars and any foods that you suspect you're intolerant to will really, really help just ease that whole process down. But I hope this has debunked some myths for you, helped you understand your body a little bit more, and understand what's going on, help you to connect with what is really happening in your body so that you can really eat and heal your bodies. And just remember, if you are struggling with heartburn or reflux, then it's not because you have too much stomach acid most of the time, it's because you have too little. And it's always, of course, worth going to see your local doctor about this and getting the relevant tests done. Doctors are amazing, and we always work with them and not against them. So make sure you have this conversation with your general practitioner. Otherwise, have a brilliant day. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you found this video interesting, then share it and sign up to my newsletter list for loads of free resources and e-guides. Otherwise, have a brilliant day, and I'll see you soon.